Hey everyone, I'm going to share with you an actual real case scenario of how I have to deliver stems for a video game. So I just finished up an unannounced title and I'm about to deliver stems for the various cues. So this particular one is the menu music. And I'm really excited because now I'm using auto bounce and I can do this and automate the process and just go and leave and have lunch while my computer is actually doing it for me. So there's a few things that I'll do ahead of time to set it all up and to make sure it's going to work perfectly. So right here, the first step I always love to do is arrange my tracks and track stacks so that they are displayed as I want the stems to be named. So I'll put all the drums and whatever and percussion. So these are the way I want my stems. In this case, the strings are all in a folder stack, but then I made some substacks for the sustain strings and then the ostinato strings. Okay, so this lets me run those separately, and inside of those, they'll have the various instruments. But the rest is all here. So you can kind of see it's already set up and ready to go and named. And this is where auto bounce comes in. So when you open auto bounce and you run the scan, it looks like this. And auto bounce will actually match the logic window the way it's displayed. So all I have to do is just say select all. Okay, this right here becomes the folder name. So I'm just going to say, whatever, menu stems. Okay, cool. The next thing I want to do is the naming convention. So in here, definitely, obviously, the track name, but I want to start it with the project code name, and I'll just go, menu, and then I'll just move this over here. So it's going to say that. I want to start it with a sequence number. So it'll be like, 1, INV, menu, the name of the track, which is the name of the stem, and then I'll just put the word stem, so it's clear for the recipient that these are all stems. And then to make it even easier, I'm going to put the BPM because I am not making this loopable. I'm adding an extra bar of silence, so the ring out is there, and I added a 1 beat beforehand. Okay, so you can get a preview of what it's going to look like right here. Boom, and that looks good to me. Just making sure the settings are set, so they are. Okay, now before we hit go on this, one thing to keep in mind, a lot of people will say, well, how do you do it if you have mastering and stuff like that? Let me show you how I do it. All right, so right now I have my full, let's say, mastering chain on. Okay, so it's going to sound like this. Nice and big and loud. So what I found through experience is that the only stuff I really have to remove is the stuff that adds dynamic processing, like limiters and maximizers and compressors. And the only ones that are really doing any of the heavy lifting here are in Ozone. So let's say, here we go. Now if I turn the maximizer off, hear the volume change and the dynamics. See, much softer. But I don't have to really turn off Ozone in its entirety, just some of the modules. So once I take off those dynamics, I know that it's not going to kind of mess up the balance. And that's all I got to do. I always like saving a version of the Logic project right before I run stems, and I'll call it pre-stem. Right? And then the last thing before you hit go is always, I recommend to save the job set. Okay, this way, if anything goes wrong or if I have to come back tomorrow, I can just load the auto bounce job set and it's going to have the same selections and the settings and all of that and the naming convention, and I don't have to like set this all up again. That's pretty much it. Now the fun begins. All I do is I hit bounce, and I can either sit back and watch the fun or go get some lunch. I'll do the latter. See you soon. Okay, back from lunch. Let's see what we got. Auto bounce is done. Show in the finder. All right, cool. So now I'm just going to go to my stems here. And there they are. So before I send those off to the client, I always want to test them out, right? And so in order to do that, I'm just going to simply make a new, I'm just going to close this up and make a new Logic project. I have my little template, basically an empty session, just with the basic tracks that I want to use. Okay, and I'll take this and I will drag these guys into it. Notice I put the BPM. All right, and I know that I put an extra little beat in there. So let's just see. Turn off the click. All right. I'm going to hide auto bounce. All right, and I'll just expand it so I can easily see where the stuff is. And I'll just solo. Yep. Cool. Sustain strings. Ostinatos, harps, yep, brass, pulses, cool, pads, very little, bass, and then I made a stem of melody stuff, because that could be used separately if you want to just take the melody out. And there we go. This is all perfect, named perfectly, ready to send. That's it. How cool was that? If you enjoyed this video, please click like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the next one.